Hola, welcome to Spain, Poco A Poco. Buenos dias, Tanya.
Buenos dias. How's it going?
It's going good, eh, too?
Very good. So today we're going to talk about marzipan in Spain.
Mazapan in Espanol.
Yeah, one of my
Marzipan.
marzipan. I do love marzipan. I will say that I grew up with a lot of marzipan because there's a lot of marzipan in the Danish culture, which is my mom is Danish, so we had a lot of marzipan around Christmas time, especially. But that is
Okay.
not the origin of marzipan, is it?
No, because this is in Denmark.
No.
I'm going to venture out here and guess and take a risk and say, could it be Spain?
It could be. Congratulations. You get a star. You get a star.
Right, I'd rather have a piece of marzipan. Thank you very much. Or
Yes.
mazapan, as
Do you
we
like
say.
marzipan?
I actually do.
Oh,
I
okay.
really do like it.
It's not everyone's thing, right?
It's
So the
not
fact that we
everyone's
both
thing.
like it is pretty amazing that we're both sitting here and we both like marzipan.
Yeah. But I will say I've always liked it. But I will have to say when we were doing our research on it, and I remember arguing with you about what made it,
Hmm.
still has me blown. But anyway, we'll start our episode and we can talk about what is marzipan
Right.
and
And
how it
why? And
and how and
why,
why.
as usual, the Spanish take it to a whole new level.
Exactly.
That you never knew you could enjoy.
So we will say that the city of Toledo is the spiritual home and I would say the historical home of marzipan, right?
Yes.
That's the
Where it was
birthplace.
invented, the birthplace,
Hmm.
exactly. There are some like other, well, in Germany, the city of Lubeck, they can say that they have had it also for a very long time. But I'm thinking, based on what we've read, it was in Toledo well before that, because also when you
Right.
look at the origins of how it got to Spain, it just makes sense that it would
Right.
have started here, I think.
Germany
That's what I'm
wasn't on
going
the
with.
way. It wasn't on the way to get to
No.
Spain.
And I don't think they have as many almond trees. So I'm
No,
thinking
it's not really the
overall,
climate
better.
for almond
No,
trees.
I don't think so. So, as marzipan being one of Spain's oldest and sweetest traditions, we go back to Toledo, as you said, where it all started, theoretically.
Hmm.
And if you don't know that much about marzipan, it is made of raw almonds that are blanched and then ground, and then they are emulsified with sugar. And you can add other things, but that is basically what makes the almond paste, which is
Right.
probably what most people are used to seeing in relation to marzipan. We're going to get into some of the delicious variations and sweets that they make out of it, but that would be your base, right?
Right. And from that, they shape it into things and do all the other things that
Mm-hmm.
are wonderful. But they'll add things like almond oil and honey and egg whites and things.
Yeah,
I think to like bind it to probably helps it to shape them better too, right? If
absolutely. Yeah. And if you want like the highest quality marzipan has the most amount of almonds. So if you're looking, that's what will make it more expensive, other than maybe a
mhm.
fancy place makes it. And if a fancy place is making it, then it should have higher quality
It
of
should, yes.
almonds, right? I'm assuming. But that is basically what should make it a higher quality marzipan, is the amount of almonds in it,
Right. And
theoretically.
we had mentioned how it was the Moors, the Arabs that had brought it to Spain, as
Mm-hmm.
they brought a lot of their culture to Spain, and it was brought to or Toledo at the time when it was brought here was one of the major crossroads in Spain. Right, there's different cities at different times, and
Absolutely.
Toledo was a center of trade in
Mm-hmm.
Spain,
And also the
and
capital of Spain at the
yes, it was
time.
been the capital I think a couple
A
times in
couple of times,
Spain.
yeah, but at this time it also was, absolutely. So it would have made sense that that's where everything ended up,
Yeah,
I
and there was
suppose.
Christians and Muslims and Jews all living together at the time, so it was
Hmm.
a lot of influences coming together,
Right.
and the Moors brought the trees, and I think they
Absolutely.
brought the sugar too, right? Aren't they the ones that brought sugar to
Possibly.
Spain? I think.
Well, so according to legend, besides the
Okay,
sugar, what happened was
okay.
that
What had happened
what
was.
happened was that, and this is how it was sort of made, was that there was a battle of La Navas de Tolosa in 1212, and that started a famine in the area, and they ran out of wheat. And the clever nuns of the convent of Clemente decided to mix the sugar and the almonds together and create this, what is now we know as marzipan, to feed the hungry. And it was distributed to help with the famine. So that's lovely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what we're saying here is that I mean, it's kind of funny. We had almond flour before we had no gluten on the menus, right?
Right.
Like they invented it.
Many years ago.
Who knew?
Predates what we're using it for today. Absolutely. And also just, I mean, the nuns in Toledo and other parts of Spain, it's still a big thing that they're making and producing and
Hmm.
selling. So that part of the history of marzipan has not changed, and you will find that to be the case in a lot of the the very special marzipan that you'll
Hmm.
find in different places is still coming from convents.
So the nuns are making this in the convents, which I think is cool, right? I guess it's
Mm-hmm.
helping fund their lifestyle too, right? It's fun.
I would
I mean,
assume.
they got
Probably very well, I would
very
imagine,
well.
because if you've been to Toledo, I mean, it's marzipan shops everywhere. And even in
They've
parts
got
of
more
Spain,
marzipan shops than New York has Starbucks.
that might be true. So it's available year round. And especially in Toledo, I think it's definitely, I mean, there's shops everywhere. It is available year round where we are too, but it is something that really pops up in a major way in all the shops during special holidays like Christmas and Easter and the
October 9th.
October
Yeah.
night, the Valentine Day here.
Oh, what St. Denius is, because we
St.
still have
Denius, yeah.
Valentine's Day. We have 2 days for
Yes,
lovers,
but
right?
it probably comes out for Valentine's Day too. So yes,
but
I
like
mean,
our fancy bakery, they'll have a little selection. But yes, that
yes,
2 weeks before, it's all coming out, and right around Christmas too, I'll see it. And then
yeah.
the Christmas market, you'll see it. But I guess in other towns, the convents are bringing them to the Christmas market as well.
I would think so, yeah.
Yep.
And I will say, I don't know that I've necessarily noticed a pattern of which holidays because I haven't been paying attention. But it seems to me that any holiday that comes up suddenly in the store, there's aisles of marzipan, like for
Right.
everything. So it's very easy to find, and I think it's lovely that the nuns are still producing it. And so should we talk a little bit about what makes Toledo marzipan special even to this day? Because obviously it's special because it's the like birthplace of marzipan here in Spain, but it's also still very, very special.
It's still very special. And what's crazy or cool or awesome, like, as in our
All
Homon
those things.
episode, we talked about like what's the word I'm looking for? Like regional
A
help me,
specialty?
protection. Yeah.
Protection. Oh, the protection, yes.
Like the champagne, like so marzipan is like the champagne of Toledo. Like if you're gonna say it's
Yes.
Toledo marzipan, there are strict rules and regulations why you can use Toledo marzipan. And it's not that it's just made in Toledo. It has to be
Yes.
a certain percentage of the ingredients and only a certain kind of almond, like the Marcona almonds.
Usually, I
And
think that's definitely, and it has its own. I mean, it has a special, like all these things that make it special, give it a texture and that is special theoretically. So that's
mhm.
also like everything that makes it special. You'll actually be able to taste and kind of feel that in the marzipan that they create, and it's also handmade. It has to be handmade.
Right. And that 50% of almonds is important because we had said earlier it's about the quality of ingredients makes things expensive.
Hmm.
So obviously the more almonds the better. And the cheaper ones, they'll substitute that with sugar, just more sugar. I
Just
mean,
more
how dare
sugar.
they? Yeah, the cheaper ones.
Well, actually, 50%, I'm thinking. So, I mean, when you're looking at a marzipan that isn't a good marzipan, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, what are you looking at? Like 10% almonds? You really are,
I
right?
think so.
Like,
That's just a sugar bomb.
just a sugar bomb. Oh my goodness. And I think the convent, the sweets and the marzipan sweets that are made at the convents are also, they have certain ones I think that they make, and then there's more variety that come from the pastry shops and things like that. So they have
Right.
the delicias de almendra, which is the little marzipan bites, and they can sometimes be filled with yema, which is this egg yolk cream, which
Yeah,
is,
it's delicious.
it's delicious. I haven't, it is so good. This is big in Portugal, I've seen. I haven't
Oh,
seen
really?
so much of it here, but literally we went through the airport in Portugal and they had loads of shops selling pastries with this
With
egg
the egg
yolk cream
cream.
inside. Yeah, huge.
Mm.
So obviously huge in Spain too, but and it's in the middle. I mean, it is so good, right? It's very
Right.
special. It's a very special thing.
Now, this one I haven't tried, which is the Pastelitos de Gloria, which it's filled with a candied sweet potato
That sounds
or a
good.
jam, like a sweet potato cream or
Hmm.
candied jam or something.
Yeah.
Have you
I
tried
haven't
that?
tried it, but that sounds really good.
Or at least I don't know I've tried it.
Right.
I mean, sometimes those little things go in my mouth so quickly I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not biting and looking.
I'm wondering if that looks a little bit like the yema as well, and you might confuse the
Maybe.
two. I don't know, because that sounds kind of similar. And then they have the almendrados, which is a chewy almond cookie that kind of blur the line between an actual marzipan and a cookie type thing. And that's starting to remind me of the they use a lot, obviously, the Moroccan almond cookies. I mean, now we're starting to sort of get into that arena. So you can see how tightly tied these cultures are when we're getting into all the almond and almond flowers and marzipan things, right?
Right.
It's very interesting.
And I think a lot of people know marzipan as being shaped in like the little figures like fruits and vegetables and animals.
So cute.
And we actually got some that were shaped like cinnamon rolls.
Oh, you did? Oh, so they're doing like really unique, because there's definitely the traditional like fruit and vegetables in a little packet, and it's going to be your like lemons and, I mean, just regular
mangoes and bananas and all those things.
Exactly, that type of thing. So I love that there's stores that, and we've actually found some complete little bit off topic that are made of chocolate, right, for those holidays. So that they look like the marzipan things, but they're actually made of chocolate.
Oh, okay.
for the people that don't love marzipan, I guess.
Gotcha.
Not us.
Well, then they had these ones called empanionitas. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah.
Which are covered in pine nuts, and they almost look like a meatball, a snowball cookie, right? They're little round, little balls.
And you can tell them because they got the pine nuts on top, so you can tell what those ones are. And then they have the anguilas de mazapán, which are kind of long eel-shaped marzipan cakes, and those have the egg yolk filling, and they can be decorated with candied fruit as well. So that's kind of a Christmassy thing, and we'll get more into this around Christmas, but there are some really pretty, very specific Christmas treats as well, and this is obviously one of those. Very, very colorful. And then in addition to those kinds of treats, we have another one which is from the Soto de Cameros area, and that is a mazapán de Soto, and that is a slightly coarser marzipan, and it's baked, and we'll get into that. There are more baked versions, but this is one of them. It's baked into like a little round cake, and it's dusted with powdered sugar. And
so it's a cake, like it's like would you say like an American like what we call a biscuit, not a biscuit in England, which is a cookie, but it would be more like
like an American biscuit, let's be clear, or an English scone. Okay, pick one.
Okay, pick one.
It's very confusing. So those are some little things that, it's interesting because I had never heard of baked marzipan of any sort before I moved to Spain. And that's called mazapán al horno, which the al horno is an oven. So when you'll see in all sorts of
Doesn't mean
recipes,
horny.
It doesn't. You'll see a lot of al horno. We've talked about this, I think, with the paella. You have the arroz del horno and stuff. So it's like you're taking something and you're sticking it in the oven, then it starts getting that name. And these are really pretty because they're kind of molded. Like they're very tiny little. They almost look like little sweets size of little sweets or little things.
Like those little pastry cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're super cute, and they do look baked. They kind of have a slightly burnt, not burnt, whatever you would call it, like
charred look, a brown, a baked look, a roasted look,
golden look to it.
Hue.
You don't want it to get to the charred look, okay?
No.
I don't want to teach you anything about cooking, but if you got to the charred look, you've gone too far.
And then there's the molded marzipan that's popular here during the October 9th, which we talked about, the piuleta and the tronador.
Yes, we talked about that during the October 9th
which are
episode.
supposed to look like the genitals. So the reproductive parts, but they don't really, but they're kind of,
but they kind of do and they don't.
Yeah.
So that's something that's obviously very traditional at that time of year as well. So it's funny. I think it's interesting that they love the marzipan so much here that it's not that you bring it out for every the sort of festival, but they're shaped differently and cooked differently. And they've just done a whole different thing for each of these festivals, which I love. And then the next one is, I guess, one that you like a lot.
Which we've discussed, the one with the yema, the egg yolk one, which it usually comes rolled, and the eel so it's look like little sausages almost filled with that cream, which is so good. And also, nothing's going to stay the same forever, and everyone has to add their own regional. But I understand, like down in the south of Spain, they have something called Mediterranean marzipan, which they make it lighter with like orange zest and almond liqueur.
Sounds good, right? Like, I
I'm
mean,
not
why
going
not
to say
add
no
some
to
things?
it. Yeah.
So I'm thinking, I'm sort of imagining like those little chocolates that you get that have the liquor inside, and instead of having the Yema egg yolk inside, now they're like throwing alcohol at it,
That would be nice.
We're up for variation, so we might have to travel south.
You have to give me a reason to visit your area. So if one of the reasons is your marzipan is different, then I have a reason to go.
We'll take it. Absolutely. So I think that pretty much covers everything we learned and knew and now know about marzipan.
and now know that it's more than just a sweet. It's a symbol of Spain's, cultures, the fusions of all these cultures and history. I mean, everything here is the history, right? I feel like every time we put something in our mouth here, it is the history.
It is
Spain,
the history.
right?
But it's also like just a massive part of the holidays, which is surprising. All the holidays, not just one. So
right.
many holidays. Maybe not all of them, but the big ones.
Right.
And now we have to visit Toledo and go visit some of these beautiful shops, I think.
Right. All right. Well, on that note,
hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
Thank you for listening to Our Spain Poco A Poco. Since you love us so much, please do go on to our social media and follow us and like us and subscribe where you're listening, because it really does help us to grow and stick around and do what we are very much enjoying doing.
And, give us a shout out on the social medias. Give us a comment on what you would like to hear us talk about. I mean, we like to hear ourselves speak, but we do want to make this, informative for our listeners.
Absolutely, yeah. You can comment on one of our posts, or you can send us a message through our Spain Facebook page or Instagram. So we would love to hear from you.
Yes, we would. Till the next episode.
Bye.